Hello, good morning. Welcome to our podcast, Health Unscripted, on your path of vitality. Today, we have Mr. Anil Grover with us, who is functional medicine practitioner and whose expertise lies in gut health and root cause healing. He combines cutting edge science like advanced gut microbiome and genetic testing with wisdom of nature and truly global perspective to it. Today, I have few questions from Mr. Anil Grover, who I'm going to ask. Generally, many diseases are linked with gut health, and it causes so many problems like dysbiosis, leaky gut, and these diseases cause further problems like autoimmune disorders, skin problems, hair loss, constipation, acidity, bloating, all these kind of problems. So let's know from him can we address these problems.
Yeah, thank you, Mridula. So, gut health is something concerning our day-to-day lifestyle. Everyone eats, so it starts from there. We are not eating the correct meals, too much of refined foods, too much of maybe they're having toxins, eating in a quick manner, not chewing properly. Everything is that's the very beginning. So if we are carrying on that way and we are living a stressful life, maybe the acid in our stomach becomes less, where proteins cannot be uncleaved, because protein can only get digested inside the stomach acid, where the enzyme pepsin gets activated only in the presence of acid. So after that's happened, then the food is moving into the intestine, and so these basic things, if they're not taken care of, undigested food particles reach, and there we have this vast system of microbiome, which are living bacteria, yeast, fungus. They all are part of our system. They do various functions for us, and they are out of balance when undigested food or toxins are reaching there. And gradually, if this is not taken care of, when this is happening, the symptoms are very common, which everyone is aware of. Symptoms like what you already said, right? So we may leave it thinking it's perhaps normal. It's not normal. We are supposed to be having none of these symptoms at all,
Right.
right? So that's how it starts. If it's not addressed, so the immune system is also residing in the gut, and that gets activated when this and the balance goes. There are certain strains, certain pathogenic strains may be coming from outside, and certain strains which are part of a system, when they outnumber and overgrow, they can also result in inflammation. So now the inflammation are certain molecules, they activate the immune system, that's got activated, lots of energy is being used by the body to manage all these things, which produces those symptoms: diarrhea, constipation, bloating, gas, acidity. So that's how it starts. So one of the basic things is to go back to the beginnings and look into that, because when that has happened, then over the years there will be certain pathogenic strains which can be tested and detected, and they have to be removed first. There's no point jumping into good diet and supplements because we have bypassed that. Now we have to first remove. If we don't remove those culprits, healthy foods are not going to help because the culprits are there. So we have to have certain, then we may be needing certain therapeutic supplements. So you have to go and meet your doctor and see that if one could detect them and remove those causes causing that disturbance. I hope I answered you. Is there anything else?
So yeah, so thank you for this answer. So you said we have to remove these culprits. So what measures should be taken to remove these culprits, and how we will recognize these culprits?
Those culprits can be recognized usually in the gut microbiome test, because all these culprits also have genetic material in them. Our cells also have genetic material, but about 70% of our cells don't have genes, which is the red blood cells. They don't have genes. They save space because their work is only to carry oxygen, iron. So actually, the gut microbiome outnumber us in genetic material. So these tests pick up the genes, and from the genes have been sequenced to know which strain they are. A lot of research has been done. So one can very accurately come to know which good strains have become less outnumbered by the bad ones, or which pathogenic strains which are not supposed to be there have come. Now, if they are very virulent, the person would not be listening to this talk. Would have rushed to the hospital or to the doctor. But sometimes they are just in a simmering state. They don't totally outgrow, but they are there. So then we are not sure what to do, and we live with that. So these kind of tests, stool tests, can pick up those strains, even number-wise, can pick up gut immune markers, can pick up digestive enzymes which are coming in the gut or not. So we get a very clear picture. They can pick up separately. Is there some overgrowth of fungus? Is there overgrowth of bacteria or virus? H. pylori virus is supposed to be part of our stomach, so that can be picked up. And then if you want to go more deep into it, H. pylori can have virulence factors which can make it deadly. So they also are picked up separately in this gut microbiome test. You wanted to know how to know. So once we know it's there, then you have to go to a health practitioner. Just that time, eating healthy foods may not help because the system may have become over aggressive inside the immune system. So even now, normal food particles, the immune system, because of something called molecular mimicry, could be mistaking it for a foreign substance which does not belong to our body. So now the immune system is attacking that. So that's called food intolerance, food allergy. So many things have developed now. So step by step, that has to be taken care of. But it began just by lifestyle, not eating healthy properly in a rush, and maybe too much of refined foods, because certain strains love refined foods and sugars. For example, fungus. No? So if I'm having a craving for that, if I'm only having that, so they thrive on that. But if you understand the power of nature, the gut lining is very delicate, very sophisticated, and it changes every 1 to 3 days. It renews very fast, so it needs a lot of energy. And that does not take energy. It prefers glutamine, I mean amino acids, over glucose for energy. So the gut is actually requiring other sources more than glucose. And if I'm wanting a lot of sugar, it could be there is some, doesn't mean what I'm saying. It could be the person is having lots of symptoms. It can be that there is some maybe fungal overgrowth perhaps. But till now it's
Okay.
still contained inside the gut.
So people talk about prebiotics, probiotics, right? They take that for the betterment of their gut health, right? And they tend to take sometimes just from the OTCs, over the counter, which are available easily in the market. And people think, oh, this is so many billions spores inside this bottle. Let's gulp this and just solve this issue with no gut problems. But later on they feel that these things are not working for them, they are causing bloating, or there is no change after taking them. So what is your take on this particular symptoms?
Yes, you want to know about probiotics, prebiotics, and I'm sorry, did you mention postbiotics? Something new has come up nowadays.
We can talk about it.
So we have all heard a lot about, even I'm getting confused now, probiotics, prebiotics, and now something latest has come up, postbiotics. So nothing latest has come up. It all is part of a life system, is there already. So probiotics are what we just said, the beneficial bacteria in the gut. which are almost equal in number to our human cells, which is 30 to 35 trillion cells. And earlier research was, this is what you sit down and do research. I don't know whether you're sitting and counting all this gut microbiome, but under the microscope, but 10 to 1, earlier was 10 to 1, now it's 1 to 1. So same number of gut microbiome. So they are called probiotics. So it means if I feel I'm out of balance, something has gone wrong, so I feel that I should be having some probiotics from outside should come in. So I have those capsules, right? But now, someone who is already suffering, not well, he has to know which strain to take, because different strains have been sequenced to, now they have sequenced lots of these genetic material to know which strain it is. So certain strains are linked to diarrhea, certain strains are linked to overweight, certain strains are linked to neurological problems. It's all now documented. So one needs some expert suggestions, guidance to know the cause has to be resolved with which strain, first of all. That's the probiotics. Secondly, supposing even I know it, so I research, there's lots in OI, so I've done a AI, so I've done a research and I go to get them. I get them now. The second part is, does that strain resist the stomach acid? Maybe not. There are few strains only which can resist the stomach acid and pass into the gut where they thrive and live, not in the stomach. For example, lactobacillus is a very common one, bifidobacterium, they can resist the stomach acid, but not all. Many will die there. And secondly, maybe we might be needing the ones which don't resist. So then is the company coating them, enteric coating, that they can withstand the acid and will open up in an alkaline environment, which is the gut environment? Or are they encapsulating them with special technology that they can bypass? So we need to know all that. We need to know from which company, or is the company so honest that the amount which is the colony forming units amount which is it is labeling, will that amount reach my gut? So an honest company will have 10 times more to offset the destruction of them in the acid. So there are lots of factors to consider, lots of things to know from these companies than just jumping onto social media posts and seeing something and buying it off. It just could be a waste of money. And there are
Okay.
certain strains which are very important, which have at the moment been most researched because they are supporting all the other strains like Akkermansia. So they may, or there are certain ones which will bypass the stomach acid unharmed. They are the spore forming ones. So you will see them. Once you know them, you can recognize. So perhaps it's better to take those ones which are Bacillus coagulans, Bacillus subtilis. They are common. You'll also get them in many firms, many research companies who know it, they will promote those ones. So there's lots to consider, and prebiotics are more important than probiotics because prebiotics are the food for the probiotics. So if we just consume those probiotics but don't provide them with the meal, with the food, they won't thrive. It's useless. We're just
Right.
wasting money. And prebiotics? You would like to know about prebiotics also?
Yeah, our audience would love to know about it.
Okay. So prebiotics again means fiber which human body does not have enzyme to digest. So it's all nature does this in a remarkable way. Nothing is wasted. So what we can't digest, that the gut microbiome digests and feeds on that. And since they're living in our gut for free, they pay us back. When they feed on that, and the result from the feeding the waste product is our very, very powerful molecules which do wonders to our body. So prebiotics Fiber. Now, fiber is in each and every fruit and vegetable. So now coming back to that, you can see the importance of fruits and vegetables because they are full of fiber. There are many kinds of prebiotics sold in the markets. Now, someone may have heard of inulin, and he may go running after inulin. But this, our podcasts are to help people with scientific background. Now, inulin may not be supporting a certain strain of probiotic, and that person may be having a different strain, and he's having inulin, it's not helping. So, as we first of all have fruits and vegetables, but if you want to go into depth and detail, so you must know which fiber is beneficial for which strain to eradicate or to grow.
Okay.
All this becomes there is inulin, there is oligo, all these complicated names,
Oligosaccharides.
fructo-oligosaccharides, galacto-oligosaccharides, and they all come. Some come from apples, some come from bananas, some come from vegetables. So just having them, we get all of them. But if you want to go for capsules, you can, and they may cause people who are already suffering from bloating, means their gut microbiome has shifted from colon up to the small intestine where they get this fiber too early and fermentation happens over there, which gives them bloating. So they don't need it at that time. So again, expert suggestions or help is needed here. Now we come to your last question. Postbiotics, you want to know about that also?
Yes, our audience would love to know
Audience
about
wants
it.
to know. Okay. So
Yes.
postbiotics are the waste, let's call it waste, of what they are
Yes.
fed on. Now that's miraculous, and this really fascinates me. What we can't eat, they have eaten, and what they are produced from that are vitamins, K, B's, and something very, very important, which are short chain fatty acids, propionate. Butyrate is very, very popular. So what does butyrate do? Butyrate supports the gut lining. It feeds the gut lining to grow healthy. And now shifting to your field, what you are doing, sitting with the microscope and counting all these genes and gene expression and doing all that. So now this
Well,
simple,
better techniques than microscope, not just
okay, there may
microscope.
be better one, I don't know. So that's your field.
Microscopy is entirely a different field, though.
Okay. So now this butyrate molecule, which one could say is a waste, from what we have not eaten, from what they have eaten and produced, that does exactly what you study. It influences gene expression. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. And it influences certain pathways which are anti-inflammatory. It's very powerful. It modulates the immune system in the gut and in the body. So it's wonder of nature. So from where to get these postbiotics? Postbiotics are, if I feed my gut microbiome in a healthy manner with fruits and vegetables, they get fiber and they make the postbiotics. But
Right.
sometimes, so there's no need for them really, but sometimes some people who are in a situation where they can't digest fiber, they are in problem, for them it's a boon because they get the raw material ready to support the gut lining to help reduce the inflammation. But otherwise, one has to go back to the roots and try to just eat fruits and vegetables. But for some, it is a boon. It can really change and help their life. Because if they have fiber, the bacteria being in the wrong place will produce gas and they'll have more bloating. I hope that was clear with what was
Yes.
it? Probiotic, prebiotic, and the modern now
So basically,
postbiotic.
these three things are just, I would say, a life cycle. Like, organism feeds on prebiotics and then they produce postbiotics. In normal words, very easy words, we will be saying that. Feed your gut, probiotics will grow, and then you will produce lot of molecules called postbiotics, right?
Right,
And
yes.
then you get the healthy gut. Simple.
And right. And if you
We cracked
eat,
it.
And if you eat fermented foods, so now just to understand this, a food will be fermented like kimchi, kombucha, sauerkraut. The fermented cabbage is very powerful because cabbage is powerful with sulfur detoxification. So now fermented foods means that is having probiotics in it. Prebiotic is the vegetable itself will provide. The probiotic has fermented it, so it has already produced the postbiotic in that fermented food itself. So when
Great.
you are having
So,
when
so
people are
for
having,
for you, okay.
carry on. Oh,
So this means that a sauerkraut bottle has all these three things called prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics, right?
fermented foods will have all three. Where you come
Yes.
from, your traditional roots, there people drink that red drink. What is
Kanji.
it called? Kanji. So that will have all three
Kanji.
things, right? So every
Yes.
country, yogurt, everywhere in the world, you will have these fermented foods. And for people who are healthy, who are suffering, will have some problem because they gut microbiome has shifted up to the small intestine. But otherwise, it should be eaten every day. You're getting free things from free. You don't need any capsules then unnecessarily just because you have seen it in a social media
Yeah.
post.
Right. I understand what you say. I hope our viewers are also getting all these points very carefully. Okay, so well, let's I have a thought while listening to you. So I think we want to own our own path of vitality, right? So what signs we should address since we are living in the stressful environments these days? We are consuming unknowingly unhealthy food sometimes, which is labeled as healthy, and that also become a problem for a gut. And it does not occur in a one day. It happens over the years, and our body start to reacting chronically to it. So what do you think, what kind of measures we should address, like acidity, bloating, on all these things? What kind of healthy diets we should think about at these particular times when we are feeling such problems?
Yeah, people who are really having such problems need some expert advice. They should go to the practitioners because sometimes at that time, as I already said, not repeating, till, of course, they must eat healthy food, but till they cannot remove the problems. If someone is having intolerance to foods, which is should not happen, but it has developed, the immune system is confused now. Molecular mimicry means the food cell particles are having expressing some proteins on the surface which resembles which is resembling some the microbiome maybe having not the microbiome, the pathogen is having certain protein expressed on the
So
cell.
what molecular mimicry according to you? Like what kind of molecular mimicry? The molecules which
Supposing
are in the food and they are acting as
no,
microbiome?
both different.
Um,
Supposing it is a microbiome, supposing it's a pathogen, a bacteria or virus in the gut, and or maybe a food substance which is having some proteins on its, the cell is having on its surface, and the same protein is also present resembling our own body's cells. So the immune system will attack both. That is what is autoimmunity, no?
yeah.
So okay, then we have to suppress autoimmunity. That's okay, but we have to find the root cause, which could be the food allergy specific tests to know what is causing it, or diet elimination. I have to work a lot at this stage. Nothing happens suddenly. So I have to make that effort. So in my coaching, helping people, have noticed actually the most difficult part in healing is a behavioral aspect where people don't make the effort or want to or give importance to that step. They can have all the supplements, all the money, everything, but they don't want to do it. They don't understand or don't want. I don't know what it is. So we have to spend time to find out what's causing the allergy or which toxins are there, and then take the necessary steps by using maybe visiting your doctor or maybe using herbal antimicrobials to balance out the gut, and certain strains love refined foods, sugar, so that is out. That has to be totally out very seriously. Few months, all these steps you have to take. And for whom they are already healthy but having bit of these symptoms, they should be serious. They should not let it happen. We are not supposed to have, we are supposed to have no problem. Of course, if you have eaten too much, then you'll have that for that one day, because that's a support system from the body. If you fill your, in your kitchen when you are blending something, if you overfill your blender, it might just, the lid might come off. So same thing will happen if you have eaten 3 meals at one time, at one go. So next day your body will respond to help you not to do that again. But otherwise, every day, no, we're not supposed to have. So we have to take
Yeah.
those steps. Once we have found out those culprits, then a healthy diet, which is I know, whole food, plant based, where we have all the your probiotic, prebiotic, postbiotic,
And
but not only
postbiotics, yeah.
that, but they have all the macros, all the phytonutrients, everything is there. Almost.
So with this thing, I think, yeah, there is a rightly said thing for a gut that it is a right food processor, and if it is not operated rightly, it will blow out all the food out of your body,
If you
and it
overfill
will
it.
blow the system available. We should wrap with this idea that we should eat the right foods, right, have fiber-rich diet, and while understanding the concepts of prebiotic, probiotics, postbiotics, these three things are playing role in a healthy diet and how our body is processing it. But when we know this information, what we are putting in our mouth makes a lot of difference, because we are putting our food with the understanding if the food has the right fiber in it, if the food has right probiotics in it, or it is going to make uh, certain postbiotics in my food. Okay, then I can take this food. This is healthy and safe, and it is gonna process nicely. So yeah, and if we need any tests or something like that, we should undergo them, and we should address these problems and with the right mind. And with this, we can own our path of vitality. Thank you so much. Thank you for attending our podcast, and we will meet next time, and we will bring hot topics on the health and address your all the questions. We will try our best. Thank you so much. See you next time. Stay tuned.